dick around and just lay your ass down and go to
I
sleep.
could have parties. People could come over. I could have 2 or 3 different husbands as long as he fell asleep first.
No, so like with me, when I lay down, my mind
goes like, this is the time to spin.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. It's like I go through all of this shit over again. That's why I understand.
That's why I listen to these stories and stuff when I'm falling asleep usually, because if I'm not listening to something and paying attention to that, and it's not really paying attention, it's just kind of like a background thing to help me fall asleep.
It's basically your version of white noise.
Yeah, because if I'm not listening to that, I'm thinking about shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
that's why I can't listen to music.
Well, I can't either.
It gets in my head.
Yeah.
Teenager, I used to listen to music every night. I couldn't sleep without it.
He still would but I can't go to sleep. I get too caught up in it.
Yeah, that's why I can't either. I have to have something that drones.
See, I read myself to sleep, and that's why, because I just...
Well, I think we all know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very soothing for me because I get out of my head into something else, and
see, and that's why I don't understand these people that dig being ass deep in drama all the time. That's why I hate drama with a passion. I don't like confrontation. I don't like drama because when I'm trying to go to sleep, motherfucker, that's what I'm thinking about. And it doesn't matter if it happened yesterday or fucking a month ago or a year ago. There's a really good chance that it's going to fucking pop up, you know? And then it's 3 or 4 in the fucking morning like it was today. And
I saw you were up when I was up.
And yeah, I saw that. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I saw something Brandy posted, and I was like, oh, 8 minutes ago.
Well, look, we have the same problem tonight.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, that shit, I don't sleep well anyway. I mean, I can seriously, in the last couple of years, I can count the number of times I've slept all the way through the night. I've what's called maintenance insomnia, right? Which means most of the time I don't have a problem getting to sleep, but staying asleep is kind of a bitch. And
have you ever had like a study to see like what your sleep disorder is? Because I have, and mine is called alpha intrusion. And basically,
please explain that.
The alpha. And I suspect yours is too by the things you say. That's why I ask. Basically, most people, when they go to sleep...
So where the conscious part never really turns all the way off?
It's louder, it spins faster as I try to sleep.
Yeah.
And so it makes our sleep real shallow, real easily disturbed. It's been my whole life.
I've always slept. I mean, not 100% of the time, obviously, because that's nobody's 100% anything.
No,
but most of the time, I mean, like even when I was in basic training, you know, you got these motherfuckers. We're getting it for 16, 18 hours a day.
No, it has nothing to do with fatigue or any, you know.
And some of these motherfuckers, man, we hit the rack and they're just. There was a speaker.
Because it's time to go sleep.
There's a speaker
just right, be glad you
right
can
by
do that.
The door, which for where my bunk was probably 30 feet away, right? And there's like this little half wall, and I'd be laying there, and I would wake up when the speaker would go.
Oh my god!
Seriously, before the announcement, because there was it
changed.
It wasn't an announcement. It was reveille. So it'd go dun 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 dun. But like 5 seconds before that, you'd hear the speaker come on, and that's when I would wake up. You know, and all of that. That's why I can't sleep with nothing.
Do you use a white noise machine?
Yeah, well, it's not a white noise machine. It's actually a binaural beat.
But meditation music.
Yeah. And I have 2 of them. One's 3.5 hours, and the other one's like 2 hours.
See, I listen to it. I listen to an app that I can like do the binaural beats and change it up. But it literally, I have it set. I turn it on, and then it goes off automatically about 30 minutes before I want to wake up finally for the last time for the day.
Right.
And that helps me because if anything changes and it goes off, I immediately wake up.
The only time I will wake up like that, because my sleep is totally different from his. When I go to sleep, I am...
You're like Ross.
She's
dead
out.
to the world. I can sleep 8, 9, 10 hours and wake up feeling completely exhausted.
I don't know the last time I've been able to sleep 8 hours.
And it's weird because I sleep so deep and I have these really vivid dreams.
I think that's why you wake up exhausted.
Yeah, and
your brain's working really hard.
I move a lot. I'll punch, I'll kick, and do all this.
That's why I can't sleep.
But I sleep.
My ass beat while
I sleep really heavy, but I'm very active while I'm asleep. But if the
I
power
sleep
goes
really
off,
heavy, but I'm beating the shit out of Chris the whole
my
time.
God.
if the power goes off and
Oh, God, I
all the
wake up
fans and
instantly.
everything stop, I'm up.
See, that's why I like that binaural beat, because it's just this repetitive drone. The bitch is, there are certain parts where, and it doesn't start until it's like an hour in, where certain frequencies will drop out. And if I fucking pick up on that, because every time I'm like, hey.
That's a lot of
that just
times.
change?
That's why I can't listen to like the repetitive things, because I'll pick up on like, okay, this keeps repeating every so often. That's why I like
And
listen
wait
to
for it and listen
stories.
for it. And all that.
Or when that's on and I get a notification, the volume will drop just a little bit, and I'll key in on that, and I'm like, what was that notification?
You need to turn on do not, like sleep mode, do not disturb.
Can't.
I
Because of
don't
the
think we have that on our phone.
Oh, we do.
you do, because I used to have it even when I had an Android.
Yeah, it's a standard OS feature. It doesn't matter if it's iOS or Android.
Because I don't get notifications after 10 o'clock. Because if for by God some reason, I mean, I'm usually still awake at 1 or 2 o'clock, but if for some reason I fall asleep and some motherfucker sends me a Facebook notification and that wakes me up, you're on my shit list.
Well,
it's not good.
Can you still receive phone calls and texts?
From people in your contact list. See, that's why, like
I
me,
need to do that.
mine's on that, but like I have 5 or 6 numbers from communication in my contact list
That are exceptions.
that are,
And our
those
kids
are-
and y'all and stuff
Yeah.
like that. People
Right.
that, like, if they call me,
You know, it's number.
It's a thing.
And then that's why I thought when you went on Do Not Disturb, it was Do Not Disturb.
there are exceptions to it,
Yeah.
and you can set them up to what you need them to be. But generally, like the little ding notification goes off, you don't get that.
Oh, yeah, I need to
unless it's
start
on
doing that.
one of your exceptions. And I've done that
Because nobody has ever sent me anything via Facebook that I need to read at 1 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
well, and see, the thing is, a lot of the networking I do with the computer stuff, it's all over the world. So lots of times,
It's middle of the day for them.
and they don't think about it. And,
Right.
I'm like, really? So, I had to start doing that, and that helps a little bit. But it's always funny to me.
I always find it funny that
Well, the similarities between Ross and Amber
I know it.
and Chris and Brandy. It's so... It's like we mirrored our marriage,
Yeah.
but we switched the partner.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like...
me and you are actually the same zodiac sign.
Yeah,
too.
we are, and they're not.
I mean, fuck, our birthdays
Yeah,
are
I'm
like
surprised
3
we're
or
not.
4 days
I
apart.
know, because y'all are so even there's just
But you know what?
Yeah,
I thought about that.
Ross,
the other day.
you're an Aries, right?
Yes.
Which is a fire sign, and Amber's a water sign, but she's full of piss and vinegar. So I guess that really,
she got a little fire in.
yeah.
Well, I thought about that the other day, and here's the way I see it. We're with the right people
Oh yeah,
because we balance each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you two were together, that would
Can
be a
you
dumpster
imagine
fire.
Chris and I?
If Amber and I were together, that would be a
If
dumpster
you could
fire.
imagine, have you ever seen a relationship that ends in a nuclear
It
explosion?
would be
Yeah.
a super
Because I
fucking
think
nova
that's what
if
would
Chris and I were
probably
together.
happen.
Exactly.
I mean, Chris and I love each other dearly, but we are so
Or
much.
we'd rule the fucking world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
There'd
Exactly.
be no middle ground. We would either burn the world
Burn the
down
world
around
down.
us,
Yeah.
or
Which
we
is
would.
realistically, that's probably what would happen. I mean,
We could
if we're
get
being
lucky.
honest.
We might rule the world for a day. Or
Yeah,
so.
till it burned the fuck
Yeah,
down.
but I mean,
If
these
Amber and
two,
I were
they kill
together, we'd just be
everyone.
sitting in the living room while y'all burn the shit down, drinking coffee. Like,
That's exactly what would happen. And that's not good for fucking anyone.
Or you two angry motherfuckers would just road rage everyone.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
y'all
Christ,
left us
yeah.
alone. It would-
Yeah, that's...
If
that,
people would stop doing stupid shit.
If all the idiots would die, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's our spouse.
That's right.
But I really
That's my
think,
life, and I accept it.
I really think it's interesting. We're having a goddamn podcast.
We're trying to
here,
record,
baby.
and Ross
Guess
is
what?
fucking
I
getting
need
ice
drink.
out of the ice machine.
When you're
How
done,
rude. God damn, how big is that cup? Holy shit.
Huge, by the way.
why did you just go buy a 2-pound bag of ice at the? But I've always thought about.
What
like,
is he getting more ice out of your...
Yeah.
Oh.
Here we go.
Wait a minute.
Jesus, that clipped the fuck out of that.
But I've always thought that that's one of the reasons.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Like our friendships work so good, and our individual marriages, like he said, work so good because there's that balance on either side, and then the two couples balance each other because we kind of. Not only do we understand each other, but because we live with someone just like the other person in the relationship, we understand. It's neat and it's a weird dynamic, but it works.
No, I don't think it's a weird dynamic.
Well, but it's so mirrored. I think
it's an unusual dynamic.
Yeah. I don't mean weird like unhealthy or anything. I mean just like you don't find that.
I had to make it weird.
I only touched his butt the one time.
I think it's very special.
That was on accident.
I think it's very special how we came together and
how it meshes. And I think it is.
Oh, you mean greasy?
It was meant to be.
Yeah, and because sometimes. I'll look at Chris and I know what he's thinking because it's what I'm thinking. But we're very different, but at the core and the way we respond to things, and y'all are so like that, and I think it's really neat, and I think that's why your marriage is the way it is and ours is too, is because like Ross said, it's the balance. You can't be just alike, but you can't be polar fucking opposites either.
Right,
there has to be a mix. And okay, I was scrolling through the Facebook while Ross was doing his thing, and I got to talk about this. Why the fuck do people... I love tattoos, y'all. I do. I love fucking tattoos. If I had more skin, I'd have way more. Why do people do homemade tattoos? Have you ever seen a homemade tattoo and thought...
Okay, no,
I'm talking about on themselves.
No, but wait a minute. You mean somebody actually doing
Scratching on themselves.
I was going to say, I mean, I've seen some tattoos that were done at home, and there's some people out there that... No.
I'm talking about like...
Oh, damn.
Did someone just knock at the door?
It was the ice maker.
Oh, we're missing...
Thanks, Ross.
No, I thought someone had knocked on the door.
We are missing Weird Al right
Dear
now.
God, how shall I ever live?
I think I'll be all right.
Scratching on themselves like this one guy.
That's a great way to get fucking hepatitis or some sort of poisoning.
Just stuck with a nasty, gnarly piece of shit on your arm forever.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I think that might be a scar right there. I tried to give myself a tattoo when I was...
That does not surprise me at all.
When she was like 28.
No, I was like...
Yesterday.
Maybe junior
Earlier
high.
today when she was in the...
It was either like elementary or junior high. I was little, and I had a pin, a button, and I had
Probably said New Kids on the Block on it.
an ink
Probably
thing,
that big around.
an ink. No, I had a New Kids on Block button that had all of them on there, and that thing was like that
Life
big.
size.
Yeah.
It was
It
life
was
size. She
huge.
carried it in a backpack.
Anyway, and I took the ink thing out of a pen, and I tried to give myself a little heart and dagger.
This is also the same chick that played with mercury. That's what's wrong with her now.
Well, okay.
Heavy metal
I
poisoning.
used to do... Now, I never tried to give myself a tattoo because I knew they'd kill me. But... But I used to, just for fun, I would sit around and put needles in my hands,
I've done
through
that
my
before,
skin.
through the scalp, through the calluses.
Yeah, well, and just through the skin and my knuckles, and I'd poke, and, and people would be like, there's something wrong with you.
They'd be like, you're probably right.
But I'm having fun, so, it's weird the shit you do when you're like...
Now, to be fair, I don't know that it was mercury that I was playing with.
Oh, you're right. It could have been gallium.
So
I don't know.
Gallium?
I had a friend,
Gallium is, you know what it is? It's this really soft metal. It'll liquefy in
I had a friend
the
who
melting point's fucking
all
super
I know
low.
is her dad made silver rings.
Oh, cool, yeah,
But they use mercury in part of that smelting process. I think.
For silver?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't mercury.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with you
And
now. I wouldn't
she
bullshit
brought
about
this
that.
little vial to school. We shared a desk. We had one of those long desks. And, she put it on the table. And we'd pour it in her hands. And, we've got mercury in our hands. And then we're poking our hands with
Going in your
our
eyes.
lead pencil to make little balls.
Was it liquid when you said you poured it on the desk?
Yeah, it was.
That's
liquid.
mercury. That's not gallium. Gallium has a really, really low melting
so I
point.
played with mercury when I was in elementary.
Yeah, gallium has a really, really low melting point, but at room temperature, it's solid.
Yeah, this was liquid.
It's like gallium's melting point's 99, maybe 100
I still remember
degrees.
on the desk they'd have little balls. Yeah.
Everything makes sense now, even about your kid.
See?
But yeah, she's got a little bit of mercury poisoning, but that's okay. I mean, I love her.
It's genetic.
I'm normal.
It ish. Baby, there ain't nobody at this
Between
table that's normal.
Did you see the projected map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we sure didn't make any normal offspring between us. Like God.